What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, let's talk about vouchers. You know, my favorite coin in the Splinterlands ecosystem, and mainly what I want to talk about is how the upcoming promo event could actually make vouchers scarce again. So first off, let's just look at the potential print rates for this, okay? Now, there's going to be a legendary and a rare, and while the team has not necessarily passed the proposal yet, I'm hoping that it does. It's still in pre-proposal phase, so it hasn't even passed that or proposal phase yet. There is going to be vouchers are going to be valued at, I think, 50 DEC per voucher. And more importantly, right now with where vouchers are at, they're at a 25% discount versus DEC. So it makes sense for people to be using vouchers. Now that could change, admittedly, and it probably will if we start to see the massive kind of movement here. But let's talk about print rate first, and then we'll go over into voucher supply and value. So I wanted to use Zerial as the main kind of as the main marker for the legendary, because there's going to be two, right? There's going to be a legendary as well as a rare. And you look back at Zerial, and Zerial is underprinted in a way because people just didn't want to buy, right? That was a very awkward time, very negative time, right, in Splinterlands, and people just looked at that and said, nah, it's not worth it. I don't want to get involved. So you look at a lot of the promo cards here, and Zerial actually has less BCX printed than many other top legendaries, right? So it has less than Mantaroth, it has less than Oshur, it has less than Dr. Blight. It even has less if you go all the way back to where is it? Chain Golem. So for Untamed, it actually has less than that, right? So that's why Zerial, I think, in a way, especially with weapons training getting a little bit of a buff with Rebellion, has held its value quite well. So I just want to use 5,000, right? Just 5,000 as a benchmark. And the reason I'm going with 5,000 is because that roughly gets you about 400 to 450 maxed copies, which I think is roughly what the active, hardcore player base is where I would say. So if you do that, right, and somebody double check my numbers on this because I did it all ahead of time. If you do that, so 5,000 BCX, and you multiply it by vouchers, right, which is 625 vouchers rather than the 31,250 DEC, you would burn 3.1 million vouchers. Phenomenal, right? I mean, that's a lot considering that we mint about 14 million per year, 14.6 million to be exact. And that's just for the legendary. Now, you do the same thing potentially with the rare, and the rare is much more difficult to figure out, right? Because we don't know what the appetite for something is like that. But I'm just going to go with Grimbardoon Smith, who, again, is not necessarily underprinted, but I do believe that Matt, for Mantaroth and for Grimbardoon Smith, he made it such that the amount of BCX out there actually would help hold the value, right? And you look at the cost per BCX of Grimbardoon Smith, it's well above the $3.20 or 12 cents, whatever it is, that it would come out to from a DEC perspective for the upcoming rare promo card, right? So you do the same math where this is now 50,000, right? We only printed about 48,000 or just under 49,000 Grimbardoon Smith. But again, just to make the math easy, we do 50,000 Grimbardoon Smith. That comes out to the same roughly I think it's like 425 max copies of that card, and you do the 62.5 vouchers per cost, and that's another 3.1 million. So we're now over 6 million, and what I wanted to show you, if we go here to Splinter Cards, is roughly half of the current vouchers in circulation, which is kind of crazy, right? So now here's the thing. As I said earlier, vouchers are trading below the 5 cents, right? 50 DEC. So therefore, it's like a 25% discount if you were to use vouchers coming in from fiat versus DEC, which is only a 10% discount from where its pegged value is. So I do expect many people to use vouchers in order to engage with the promo cards if they so choose to. And But let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic, because if we start to see an actual scarcity, a liquidity crunch in vouchers overall, this would probably shoot right back up to 5 cents. And maybe I think we've seen it there before. Yeah, we've actually been above 5 cents, 5.5 cents, not too long ago, within the last month or so. So that could potentially happen, at which point people may choose to go back to DEC. And again, DEC DEC might actually have the same thing happen to it, where it's just, I don't know what the scarcity level for DEC is right now, but if you put a demand driver in, right now there's no main demand drivers because people just aren't buying Rebellion packs, or they aren't putting more on land than they already have, then this promo card could actually be something that comes in and requires a lot of DEC. Either it gets burned or it gets sent to the team, either which is good, right? Because it takes it off the marketplace. So my hope, right? I think it's going to be good. It's going to be fine no matter which way we go, especially if we have lower print rates, like 5K for the legendary, 50K for the rare card. My thought process with this is it's not all going to go to vouchers, but if it does, right? Because I don't want to talk too much about DC. If it does, I mean, that eats up a significant amount. I mean, we're talking about 40% of vouchers that are printed throughout the year. We eat it up in one promo card, which I think is phenomenal. I think that would act, or not promo card, but promo event, I should say. And the team wants to run several of these other promos throughout the year. So again, to me, that's a very good sign. Again, are we going to use all 6 million vouchers for it? Probably not. It'll probably be a mix of DEC and vouchers. But you can tell right here that it would be a significant boost to the economy, or at least a significant boost to vouchers overall. And if voucher values do go above 5 cents, right, maybe significantly, maybe even insignificantly, they don't go that much higher. Again, that comes back and adds value to SPS staking. It adds value to node licenses. So overall, I'm very excited to see how this whole thing plays out for the promo cards. That's one of the things that is a definite known on the horizon, right? We know when the Bitcoin halving is. We know when the team wants to run this around the Bitcoin halving. So that's all coming in within a month or so. Outside of that, we don't really know what the rewards rework, for example, that's the other known quantity coming in. We don't know what kind of impact that's going to be able to make on the game economy. I think it's going to be fun from a game perspective, but from a game economy perspective, I'm much more excited about the halving event and as well as the grain LP. But again, I'm not. The grain LP is something completely separate. We can cover that. I'm not as bullish on that just because I think there's probably way too much grain out there as it is. But overall, that's my thought process on this and why I think it could be very, very helpful for vouchers. Because even if we don't use a full 6 million, let's say we only go half, right? 3 million or so. I mean, that burns roughly 25% of how many vouchers there are currently circulating. And let me do this off screen real quick. 3.125 million vouchers divided by 40,000, right? That's 2.5 months, 78 days, almost 3 months worth of voucher printing that we knock out right there. So very excited about it. Hopefully it does become successful, and these cards are ones that people want to have. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.